Oh my goodness. Is it working?
Yeah, it's working and it's over my phone. Is
Wait,
that
hang
fine?
on. This might be perfect. All right, so let's just pretend like bingo bango, calling you now, hitting record now. Okay. Hey, Melissa.
Hey, Briggs, how's it going?
It's good. I feel like this last 6 months have been a little bit crazy,
Well,
but
no kidding. You've been a busy person.
yeah, filling up my cup with all things that I want to be, but that's what the mid-20s are for, I think, as
Yeah,
as I've been told.
mid-20s, early 30s. I don't know. It's a journey and it just keeps going. So,
um, let's dive into your journey. I feel like first and foremost, this podcast, the whole purpose of it is to provide some quality content and feasible content, like content that moms and dads, grandmas and granddads, aunts and uncles, siblings, anyone can listen to and have a better understanding of what the heck this industry is about. They don't have to
yeah.
attend a workshop, they don't have to go to a convention. We're not taking drop-in classes. Like, this is just a little bit of insight into what this world is like, and for those that are thinking about pursuing it, I want to bring them some clarity from like leaders like yourself who have gone through the thick of it and probably are still through the thick of it. Like, it doesn't, I'm not sure it ever
Yeah.
ends, but I think,
Yes, I would say that. Like,
yeah,
you hit it on the head with, it definitely is a never-ending journey and it's always changing, whether you're wanting to be a dancer, trying to become a dancer, or if you're like looking into going into choreography or, yeah,
yeah, yeah.
it's,
So that's the goal of this. And I think just to keep that at the forefront of this conversation, because I know that what you have to share with the world is ridiculously valuable. I
aw,
myself am going to learn from it. I know that. And I know so many others are going to learn from it as well. So it,
thank you. I appreciate that. That's very nice.
oh,
Thank you, Briggs.
no, of course, of course. And so let's jump back. Let's go. Um, let's sort of follow the journey, because I know from the brief amount of time I've known you for, which has been such a gift, is you did have this gift since you were young. And so I want to hear a little bit about sort of your early childhood, not to dive too deep, but like just to get a good idea of who Melissa Mitro is and like how you've come to be this beast of a dancer and choreographer and director. I want to know how it all started.
Yeah, I don't even know where to pinpoint, but what I will say is it all started with my mom because my mom used to be a dancer as well. So, my sister, who's 2 years older than me, like she was teaching dance, and I mean, it was hard to find a babysitter. Let's put it that way. So she just brought us to dance, and I mean, ever since that time, like I would be looking at my sister watching her dance, saying, I want to do that. So that's how I just jumped in head first
Yeah.
into dance. And I grew up in a competition world because I was at a studio and I was training in a whole bunch of different styles, of course, like most people do when they go to dance studios. But another interesting fact is I actually started doing Highland dancing at a very young age because my mom used to do Highland dancing as well. So I
Oh,
was
I love
also kind of like doing that outside of competition. And so
that.
that's a little interesting tidbit
You
about
know, my
me.
head is going into all of the imagery and visuals possible with little
Oh,
Melissa.
yeah.
Oh my
Just little Melissa in her kilt, dancing with a sword. It's fine. Yeah.
Is there any
Um,
Irish blood, or is that purely?
it's So actually, so Highland dancing is Scottish dancing. There's
Oh,
two different kinds. So like Irish dancing is a little more like straight with the arms down.
okay.
Lord of the Lord of the what is it? Lord of Michael Flatley. I don't
For
know if you
sure.
know him,
For
but
sure.
yes. that's more of that style, but Scottish dancing is, yeah, danced with a kilt. It's a little more jumpy and there's more arms and um a little bit more variety, I would say, in like styles, whereas Irish is kind of like we're either tapping with our arms down or we're jumping in the air with our arms down.
And you
Um,
will do no more.
and I will do, yeah, you will do no more
Yeah,
after
for
that.
sure.
But yeah,
Okay, sweet.
yeah,
So little, okay, so that's great. So eat, sleep, breathe, dance. Mom was there with
yes,
you.
that's,
Sister was there with
I
you.
wish, I wish I had something more like,
No, this is
you know,
good. This is who you
broad
are
of a
now.
spectrum, but this is, that was definitely my life. And I just fell in love with it. So I continued with it. I even, when I was going into grade 8, I went to an art school. So of course, like I went to like a regular, elementary
And is
school.
this
And
out in
then,
Toronto?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I grew up in Richmond Hill, so it's just outside of Toronto. And then, yeah, my art school though was more so uptown, but Toronto, more so in Toronto. And it was all because of my ballet teacher, because he got a job. My mom opened a studio. He got a job at the studio, and and he was the director of the program. So he just kind of said to my mom, "Hey, like, would your daughter want to go be in this program?" The school was called Cardinal Carter for the Arts, where yeah, I feel like a lot of really amazing dancers come out of
Okay.
and have come out of and still do come out of, actually,
Okay, so then pause because I think
nowadays.
this is something to reflect on. So this is a bigger school out east, and something of stature, like something that has has a name in the industry, if you will. And when you went there, were you with a lot of peers that were also sort of gunning or at least finding interest in pursuing a
Yeah, like
career? Yeah.
actually one of my really good friends, but also you can call him coworker or whatever you want, but he was on my season of So You Think You Can Dance Canada, was Shane.
No,
So that's where I met Shane,
no
was
way.
at school at 12 years old, Cardinal Carter for the
You
Arts.
mean the world's small?
I mean the world is small.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I think that's
Yep.
I think that's a really a really good thing that you brought up is just you never know. 12-year-old Melissa, eat, sleep, breathing, dance. Not sure what happens tomorrow, but is sure that in 10 years she wants to dance professionally, I imagine.
Yeah, I
And
mean, I will say that I had my own demons. Like I still had my, and I wouldn't call them demons necessarily, but just like doubts or just questions, because I find that when I was a teenager, because I was doing so much dance, like I, wanted to see what other things were like, actually.
okay.
And it kind of came when I was around, like, I would say, like, I don't know, 15, 16, 17. Like I still continued dance because I still loved it, but I just wasn't entirely sure that that's where I wanted to go, just because I hadn't done anything else. So,
So did you pursue other sports or extracurrics? Like what?
to be honest, I wish I was begging my mom to put me in soccer. So that's a fun tidbit,
Yeah.
that Melissa was like a little bit of a tomboy when she was younger. She really liked sports and, gym class and playing with boys and being athletic, so to
I
speak,
hear
right?
ya.
But yeah, so like I was begging my mom to put me in soccer. And honestly, she was like, no, because when I was younger, I would say even like 9 or 10 years old, I got, um, I don't know if like, it's called Osgood Slaughters. And it's just basically,
Just the English termination would be fantastic, please.
Right, precisely. So
Right.
it's like, let's put it this way, it usually happens actually in boys, young boys. And it's kind of like a growing pain, as you would say, or if you
Okay.
would say growing pain. But like it's almost like because you're so active and jumping up and down and running, the bones, like the kneecap, the bones in your leg are kind of rubbing together and they kind of form this other bone
Oh, my
on your
tummy
knee. And
turned.
And yes, yeah. So it's not the most glamorous thing to happen, obviously, but
Said so mom said no soccer, just dance.
yeah, no soccer, just dance.
No
Just
soccer, just
and
dance.
it's mostly because of that injury.
Okay.
Because it was like it's either you do soccer
Yeah.
and that's your one thing, or you do dance. But just so you know, soccer,
Yeah.
it's a easy knees are an easy area to hit and get injured when you play soccer,
Right. And
right?
dance is nothing but delicacy and you should feel no pain.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
okay, so then tell me after sort of you did kind of get over the am I interested in another sport? Like talk to me about sort of you as a 14, 15, 16 year old considering what the heck you're going to do post high school. Like where was your brain, friend group? Like tell me a little bit about that.
My brain was like just living every day, honestly, as it was coming. I didn't have a plan, but what I did do, again, something that kind of, I would say, fed my hunger for doing other things was I was like the part-time job queen. So I used to
Mm,
work for like a driving school. I worked at a restaurant. I worked at a glass factory. I did every single part-time job there known to man, worked at a gym, worked at a doctor's office and I did that, and it was basically just anytime something would come up where it was like a dance thing, I'd be like, "Oh, can I, have this time off?" And
yeah.
if it was a no, then I would have to be like, "Well, I'm so sorry, then
Yeah.
I have to resign, I have to quit
Priorities
because
lie with. Yeah.
yeah, I
So
have to
then when
quit
did you
because my dance thing comes and then, once my dance thing's over, then I would just go out and
Okay, but
find
I want to
another
go
job.
back. I want to go back to before dance things came up in terms of something that you could. I mean, my dad always said to me, actually this is so funny. I booked, what did I book? It was a very first gig of mine that I booked and I came home late that night. And he went, "Did you get paid?" And I was like, "Yeah, like I don't know, as artists do." It was more for exposure, not good, but I did get paid a little bit. And he went, "So you're a professional dancer?" And I kind of just like I went, mm. He went, "Well, did you get paid to dance?" And I went,
Yeah.
"Yeah, you know what, I did actually."
Yeah.
And so to come back to where we were, I when did you start getting the professional jobs? Was it right out of high school or was it within high school as well?
I think it was within, I would say probably when I was like 18 is when I started getting professional jobs. So I would say, or maybe even early, honestly.
Yeah.
Not to tell my age or anything. It
No.
was quite a while ago, but it was definitely around that time, like 17, 18. And when you're 17, you're usually in grade 12, like finishing up high
Yeah.
school. Yeah, I would
And
say
then
around
and
there.
so would you say, because I'm imagining, is this pre-agency or post-agency?
Oh yeah, this is like way
Way pre.
pre-agency.
Okay, totally. So I think this is important to just note. You did you get called out because Toronto is a different beast. Like I'm calling you from out west, and my most of my time has been spent in Vancouver. But even before that, like I came from the prairies. Like I'm from Alberta, and jobs post high school, well, that's laughable. There isn't really anything here.
Yeah,
I
really
mean,
scarce.
it's growing exactly. So I think to put it in perspective, so out of high school, you were able to get jobs, and do you think, looking back on it, that being in the Toronto area helps with that, or having like a mom as a studio owner, like is what would be sort of your take on that looking back?
I think like, well, just having good guidance. So of course, because my mom was a dancer, like I always had great guidance from her, but even my dance teachers, like they just would encourage me to like go everywhere. And I mean, even if I did get a professional job that honestly back then too, like paid next to nothing, I just did it because I wanted the experience and the
Yeah.
exposure. And I know that like everybody, we always say that and it's the but it's true.
Yeah.
Like that's what I did. And then even putting that to the side, I was still like just trying to meet people in my city. I'm going to classes and drop-in studios, just the plain old way that
Mm,
anybody would be, trying to network and meet
yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Or even just like, and I don't even think back then I even knew what I was doing. Like I
Totally.
wouldn't even say like, oh, I'm networking. Like,
Yeah.
no, it's just I just like dance that much.
Yeah.
Plus the fact I just was really interested in the people in my city and the community. So I would like, yeah, I would go out and I would just take classes. And I mean, just from, I don't know, maybe competition or like even conventions and stuff, that wasn't
Yeah.
really a thing with when I was growing up, right? Like that wasn't that you had to go to a convention.
Hmm.
It was plain and simply just, okay, there's a drop-in studio downtown. Let's go take a class.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, that's great because I think you nailed on a really good point is like, call it networking, sure, but call it also just being a social human being that has an interest in something and wants to go meet the people that are around that interest and just
Yeah.
explore what that is. I think sometimes it's so easy to put like pressure on something when you're like, you got to get out and do X, Y, and Z in order to get from A to B. And it's like,
Yeah.
or no, or you can just,
Be a human.
yeah, yeah,
Like just be
yeah,
a human and just follow your interest. And honestly, because of that, like because back then I was really um I definitely wouldn't call myself a one trick pony. And why I don't call myself a one trick pony, and I I give it to my teachers because those were the people who always encouraged me to be the best I can be, but not just that one thing, like at
mm,
everything, right? So
a
I
good
mean,
support system as well. A good, yeah,
yes.
yeah,
I so back then I was really like loving contemporary dance. So I was like, oh, I'm going to be a contemporary dancer.
right.
And I so if I went to a drop-in class downtown when I was younger, then I would be in the contemporary class, but then I'd be looking in the other classes being like, "Oh, what's this? Oh, what's this thing?"
Mm,
Oh, like, and then that's how that like those classes drew me in. So then I'd go and take those classes. And then that's how you meet other people, you
yeah.
know?
And so do you have any advice for anyone that is in that time of their life where they're kind of bordering the line of, graduation, or maybe they took a gap year or whatever it is, they're considering pursuing a career because they still have an interest to pursue it. Like they don't know exactly, they don't have a clear exact path forward, but they're like, I have an itch and I need to scratch it. So if, and this is also comes back to geographically where you're located, but say you are in Alberta and you're a little bit constricted for your options, where would
Yeah.
you, like, what would you recommend to somebody that is considering it but so friggin' nervous, and the second they even think about it, it makes their tummies turn, like.
Like I just always go back. I mean, I feel like this point has come out like a lot of times in this conversation. Like just pull yourself back and like understand that you're a human,
Mhm.
right? So it's like you have to you can't be impatient with like things, and maybe the nervousness is coming from the want to get things right away. Like I'm
Right.
nervous and or I'm
The
scared
pressure.
because I'm pressured because I think that I have to go to this class and be the best one in the class. When I go to the class, I have to stand out. I have to like you put so much pressure on yourself when you don't need to. Like
Mm,
go to the class because you like the class. Go to the class because you like dance. Go to the class and don't don't put the pressure on
yeah.
yourself to be the best one. Don't expect to be the best one. Go to class for the sole purpose of going to a class, being a human and taking information and choreography and artistry from somebody
Yeah.
else,
I
and taking that. That's it.
yeah,
Like
I couldn't agree
it's
more with you. And I think it's important to also touch on the fact that, like, after you leave that competition studio sort of world, and there isn't that judge to give you your rank or your high gold, your platinum, whatever, you start going to class, and you're in that mindset of like, who is the best in the room. But my goodness, like, you're now able to just go, who is in this room and who can I connect with on a human level? Because at like, I'm now graduated from that competition sort of world. I no
yeah.
longer have to think about it like first, second, third. And I think that like that's a huge mental switch, that
Yes.
I think is worth sort of reflecting on and making sure that you realize that, because you're in an industry now and you want to pursue a career, say, you're in it for a long time and you're going to be in it with a lot of different people, and it's not a matter of who got first, second, third. It's just a matter of who is uniquely right for that job or for that booking, whatever it is. There's no
Yeah.
longer that first, second, third.
But also to pinpoint too, like if you do want to get better at something, it won't just take one class
Yeah.
either. It's going to take a lot of classes and a lot of hard work because, again, we live in this fast-paced world, and I feel like these expectations of like, oh, I'm going to take one class and then that's all I need to do because then I'll have it.
Right.
That's
Right.
that was never, the thought process or the mentality that I grew up with. Like
Mm-hmm.
I grew up with like be humble
Mm.
and take a humble step in taking this class. Know that you're not going to be the best in the class, but if you keep going to the
Yeah.
class and you keep training in this person's style, because everybody does have their unique things about them and they're all different, and that's what is so beautiful. But in order to hone that person's thing, it won't take one class. It's going to take a lot of classes and
Yeah.
a lot of training, you
Yeah.
know?
It's that mental switch that I think, if the sooner you realize it, the better.
Yeah.
So okay, so I want to come back to your story, because I know that a lot of like the listeners, studio owners, parents, support system, X, Y, and Z. I honestly, to relate all of that to personal stories would be superb. So let's dive into a little bit of
Oh, I
maybe
have
like,
a good one.
yeah, good, good.
I
That's
have
what
a
I want
good
to hear.
one.
Okay.
So I auditioned for So You Think You Can Dance back when I was 18. This was the Canadian version, and I auditioned in Toronto. So, it took me 3 tries to get on that show.
Mm,
Right. So I like, again, here's the other thing of the fast paced thing and the expect. No, I auditioned and I didn't get it, but that didn't mean that I didn't go back.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like I had to keep going and I had to work hard to get on, right? But
Capital HARD for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. But I will say, when I was auditioning for uh the third season, again, thanks to my mom because she's awesome, but my mom had suggested that her friend was taking salsa classes at a studio around the corner. She's like, why don't you just like check it out, it's something different. Anyway, so I went to this class, and what I will say about being introduced to a different style of dance, something that is so opposite from what we're so ingrained to do
Yeah.
when we dance in any other style, it was so different. It was the coordination of different parts of the body, different rhythms, and also partner dancing with a partner. This is something that I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
like 100% well versed in, because I didn't have many opportunities growing up in a dance studio, with a lot of women, right? So I would say when I took that class, like I said, I mean, it was just so humbling. And
Right.
again, and the reason being is because I went to the class and I'm doing steps. And
Mm.
the steps are easy because it's not like I have to do 5 fouettes into like an illusion, into an aerial, into a penché somersault.
For sure.
But, right? But what was humbling about it was, okay, I can do these steps, but I'm not looking like I need to look like I'm not embodying the
Mm,
style. So coming from like a studio competitive world and honestly doing well in it, but then going to something else, it's like I had to start from scratch, you know?
yeah. Clean
So
slate. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, I actually forget like where we come from.
I want to
Why am
know.
I
I want to know experiences of your own, like at that age, and
Oh yeah.
you getting into So You Think, but not your first time, not your second time, your third time.
Yeah. And even then, like, so when I started taking these classes, like, because I didn't take it like, oh, I took this one class and now I know what I'm doing. That's one thing I didn't do. But another thing was like looking at dancers that honestly don't have as much so getting into that world, right? Like
Yeah.
getting into that salsa world. So going out and seeing salsa dancers at congresses, okay? Now, maybe they don't have like Highland dance training from 4 to 16 years old. They don't have ballet training from 4 years old till 18
Hmm.
and everything else under the sun training, but they have training in that. And
Right.
just like the realization of like being humbled to not having such a closed mind on this is the only way that things are done
Right.
because there's other ways. You know what I mean?
There
And
really is.
there's other things and there's other and honestly, I'm like people make fun of me, people that work with me all the time, and I call myself like the options queen because I'm full of options. I'm
For
always
sure.
like, okay, we're gonna try this, but then if that doesn't work, we're gonna try this, and then if that doesn't work, we're gonna try this, and then actually maybe let's go back to I'm like the options queen,
Yeah.
but like I think
There's
I've learned that like open mindedness from stepping into a different world of dance, kind of early
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, and
You
a
know what I
new
mean?
world, exactly. Opening your eyes up and realizing that there isn't one straight shot to something. Like there is a plethora of pathways and avenues that you can pursue. And you don't have to pigeonhole yourself into thinking that you've pursued one, so you're locked in, you have to pursue that way. Like
Yeah.
to look at it from an aerial bird's eye view, like come out of yourself for a second, like drop your ego and just realize, hang on, okay, yeah, I pursued it this way, it's not really working that well. Is there another way that I can look at
Or
this,
even
another
if it
angle?
is, even
Mm-hmm.
if it is working well, just both ways. It's
Yeah.
working well, that's great, but you know how you get better is opening your mind or opening your
Yeah.
eyes and trying different things,
Yeah.
you know?
So you got, I want to hear some of your career highs and lows, because like I said, I want to bring it all back to personal stories that people can hear firsthand, like, because there isn't really, like, you've hit all the things possible in this industry that so many want to pursue. And it blows my mind, like reading your biography and hearing all of the credits, if you will, that you have obtained over the years. It's jaw dropping. um
Thank you.
oh, you've seen it all, you've done it all. So I want to hear some of the career. Let's start with maybe two of your career highs and perhaps two of your career lows, if that's not too far to dig. Because like I said, I know listeners will want to get more color and be able to relate in any way.
Yeah, I think, well, definitely one of my career highs is So You Think You Can Dance. I would definitely put that as a high because that experience is definitely once in a lifetime. And even myself going on and moving on and doing other things in the industry, like nothing was like that
Can we
show.
pause, because listeners will want to pause podcast for a second and just digest the fact that you made it onto So You Think in itself. So can we just maybe for a second talk about the dang thing? Like,
Yeah.
I
What do
want to
we want to
know.
know?
Oh man, I want to know the world of it all. So like you said, you made it on your third time.
Actually, I made it on my fourth time. So
Okay.
when I started those lessons, I just started them to again broaden my horizons, and I just ended up falling in love with it, and I kept going with it, and I continued lessons. But actually, yeah, it wasn't until my fourth try that I ended up making it.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
Yeah.
John Mark, tell me judging panel when you made it.
You know, it's so funny. I just saw Jean-Marc what's today? Wednesday. I just saw him yesterday, which was
No.
amazing
Right, you
because
were
I
just in
mean,
Montreal.
yes, yes, I was in Montreal. I'm coaching a team that's doing the dance competition TV show Revolution.
Revolution.
Say it in the French way.
You right, right,
Revolution.
right, 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 right. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, fantastic. Ugh. Um. So judging panel, Jean Marc. Who else? I'm trying to think.
There was, I mean, we did interchange judges, like, I would say every week, but
Okay.
like, Jean-Marc was definitely like,
A
like
staple.
a staple. Yes,
Yeah.
thank you. Just looking for the word.
Yeah.
I think that Trey Armstrong was also someone that was on the panel
Yeah.
weekly. But everybody else kind of interchanged. Like we had like Mary Murphy, the hot tamale train lady,
Hot
and
tamale.
yeah, and we had National Ballet Rex Harrington. We
Mm.
had Mia Michaels. We had Dan Carity. We had like
Just
what
some
was on-
legends.
I don't know if Luther. We had Luther. We had like I don't know. It would definitely interchange every week. Sean Cheeseman, I think he was
Yeah.
judging one
Yeah.
one or two or yeah. But
And so name some of your partners throughout the show.
oh, so well, my good friend who we've spoken about, Shane, he
Yeah.
was my partner for at least actually three duets that I did, which was so awesome because it was literally dancing with my friend. So it was like the best ever. Yeah. So funny. And who else did I dance with? I danced with a ballroom dancer. He was originally from Montreal. His name's Christian Milliette.
Okay.
I danced with another dancer. His name's Adam LaPapa. He was from the Toronto area. Joey Arrigo was also from the Toronto area, and Matt Marr was actually from New Brunswick. New Brunswick. Yeah.
Wicked.
Yeah.
Wicked.
So
So
those are my partners that I danced with.
okay, and the season went, how long was the season?
It was, I'm trying to remember, I think it was around 3 months, maybe even a little more than
Jam
three
packed,
months.
buddy. Jam packed.
Oh, yeah. It was like 6 a.m. wake ups. You're dancing from, 7, 8 a.m. and you're not done till like 8. And it was any time, like when the season was, you would think that when the season goes on, like the dancing gets less just because people get off, but it's the opposite. It's you dance more.
Hmm.
Like, when people leave, you dance more.
Right. Right.
So, even the schedule that I'm saying, it definitely increased over the season where we were doing more than 12 hours some
More than
days.
more than human bodies should be doing. But
Should be
that
doing, yes,
but
yeah.
for sure, for sure. So incredible. You made it. Where what was the placement? What were the
I
final?
I actually got runner up on my season.
Legend. A legend. Incredible.
Thanks, Briggs.
Oh my gosh. So career high number one, obviously hats off to you for runner up. So you think what would be career high number two before we get into lows?
Yes, well, because again, we won't talk about my age, but I moved forward and really took an interest. I mean, I took an interest in choreographing, but I actually think I took an interest in choreographing after I did the job that I did, which the name of the show, it's another TV show. It's called Mira Kimbaila, and it's basically Dancing with the Stars. The format is like Dancing with the Stars. They have, celebrities come in and they have a troupe of dancers, like professional dancers. It's a competition. The celebrities compete against each other. You
Okay.
have a winner, just like Dancing with the Stars.
And this is who is the like who's producing this? What's is it CTV?
No, it's actually shot and filmed in Miami. So
Ooh!
I go, I've done that show for now 7 seasons. This year, if I do it again, it'll be my eighth season
Melissa,
on
you're a
that show.
beast.
Thanks, Briggs.
Ah, okay. Incredible. And so that goes back to the point that, you know, eh, opening your options up, opening your eyes up. Who
Yeah.
at Melissa at 16 did you think you would ever be in the shoes that you're in right now? Like,
No. Oh
yeah.
my goodness, no. I thought I was gonna be like a contemporary dancer at Cedar Lake in New York. Like it's like no.
I'm
I did not
howling.
think I was gonna be like eating oh my god, plantains for
Yeah.
like for lunch. Like no. I did not
Oh,
picture that.
yeah, and I think that, yeah, enough said there, but truly set yourself up with a vision and a mission, but be open and do not apply the unnecessary pressures that naturally as humans we do, because you will never pursue something if it feels heavy, if it feels like a burden, if it feels like something that just makes you want to throw up. You're
Yeah.
putting too much pressure on it.
Also, you just if you if you follow that, like if you follow the journey of kind of like obviously riding off of what you're saying, like just being open and like to trying new things, you seriously don't know where you're gonna end up.
Yeah, yeah,
No.
I can't agree with you more with that. So to transition and not even to bring it into like a more negative switch or anything like that, but I want to know, because we have to be realistic. This world beats you up, and it chews you up and spits you out, and you build resilience at the same time. So can you talk a little bit about maybe those resilience lessons, if you will, ones that left you like in the immediate time feeling beat, but looking back it was a lesson that made you so much stronger.
Okay. I
I know,
think
to put you on the
yeah,
spot.
it's a deep one. I have to search for this one,
and
but
and maybe there isn't, and that's fine, but even just to sort of
uh,
try and bring
to be
light and
to
perspective.
I'm sure I'm sure I know that there's so many times where the doubt creeped in, and it still happens to me to this day, right?
Right.
Because when you move on and you become like I've now am delving obviously into the world, and I wouldn't even say delving, I've been doing it, the world
There
of
you go.
choreography.
There you go.
And having your heart and your mind being put out for a lot of people to judge, right?
Right.
So like there's something to say there, and relating that to like when the doubts creep in. And I'm just trying to think of really just what I do. I don't know if it's anything special, mind you, but I just kind of, what makes me believe in myself is my my strength and my training. Does that make sense?
Mm,
Like it's like,
yes.
again, because I didn't go through my dance career thinking I'm going to take one class and now I know what I'm doing. Like
Right.
I really try to be authentic with the things that I do, in terms of I'm doing it because I've actually trained in it, not because I'm pretending like I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Oh,
So,
for sure. Go
um
set yourself up. Like walk
yeah.
into the room with your tool belt full of the tools that you know you have. If that's not too
Yes.
far of a stretch. Like you have your everyone has their own tool belt. I'm a visual person, so this always helps me. Like I wear a tool belt around my waist 24/7, 7 days a week, and every single one of us do. And I think every single one of us has a unique tool belt based on our experiences and
Yeah.
our training
And
and so
I think that's my backbone,
yeah.
Briggs. Like, do you know, like, so if that's my advice, or if we can, sum it all up, like
Yeah.
I think that's my advice. My confidence truthfully just comes from my training.
Yeah.
Like um because I know that I've put in the work. So that just makes me confident when I am getting, negative feedback, or the negativity's
Yeah.
trying to roll in. Like I'm just like, well, I'm just gonna
Hang on,
do that.
let me pull out my, not even like physically, but just in like mentally, like, no, I've done X, Y, and Z. I have 10 years in this or whatever. I've done, like, I actually have the confidence based on track record.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And
No, for
it's
sure.
hard. Like it's not even doing that. It's, the doubt still creeps in there,
Yeah.
right?
And
But
so those are the reminders that you're human.
yeah, exactly. You're a
Yeah.
human being. You're not a robot. I think
Yeah.
that's also, like, honestly, truly, so much. So the show that I do in Miami is very, very demanding.
Yeah.
Like, I do that show for 2 months, and I truthfully don't have a day off, because even when my one day off a week comes, I'm taking that day off and I'm preparing choreography
Right.
for one, two, three, sometimes four, sometimes five. I don't know. Sometimes it gets crazy,
Yeah.
but I'm preparing choreography to teach the next day.
Yeah.
Like, and
Yeah.
then we start a whole week all over again,
Yeah.
and it's oh, I lost my point. I lost my
No.
point. What was the
I
point?
know the point is that we're humans and not
Yeah.
machines and robots. Yeah.
Yes, that's what I meant. The machines and the robots. Like, you when you're like, just when you're just go go go, sometimes you do feel like that, right? Like,
Yeah. It
and
can
there's,
easily trap you into that for
oh
sure.
my gosh, it's completely overwhelming, the amount, like, thinking about, yeah, like working from 8, 12 hours, 10 hours, whatever, 8 hours, whatever it is a day. And it's just constant work, because, like, even though you choreograph, or you prepare for your one day off, but then when you start on Monday, sometimes things don't work. Like, again, you're human, right? You're
Yeah.
not like a robot. It
Yeah.
doesn't come out like perfect the first time around all the time. And then
No.
that's where, like, Melissa the options queen comes in, because I always have options. So I'm just like, all right, that doesn't work, we're going to try something else. But,
Funny.
like, it does tend to feel like that, and it can
Hmm.
really, like, it can consume you sometimes, and it definitely has done that for me, and I just have had to take a second, because
Yeah.
it's overwhelming and it's a lot.
because because you're human,
Yes.
and yeah, and that is for any industry, entertainment aside, humans first, and foremost, before career titles and all of that stuff. I've always thought about it like that, as I continue to navigate through my 20s and figure out who the heck I am as a human before all the titles come trickling in.
Yeah.
um
And
and
I
so
think
for
that's
me,
great.
yeah, to because I'm very, aware of time, and yours is very valuable, so I want to bring listeners a little bit of insight into who Melissa is, based on the fact that we just spoke about how humans are, at the forefront of everything. I want to maybe, like, rapid fire ask you questions, not regarding industry, nothing like that.
Okay.
So it's going to take like a minute and a half, and first thing comes to mind, you say.
I say it.
You
Uh-oh.
say. Okay.
Uh-oh. No, I'm joking.
No,
Okay.
it's good. So, let's say, okay, no, easy one. Favorite scent.
um, oh, Carolina Herrera. I forget what it's called.
You're ridiculous.
Yeah, it's
Um,
so bougie. It's fine.
okay, superpower that you wish you could have.
Um, oh my God, I wish that I could fly.
Wish you could fly. Favorite article of clothing that you don't go anywhere without.
Ooh, sweatpants. Like, I'm
Specific or no?
just, no, no specific, just sweatpants. I need to be comfortable at all times.
For sure. Okay, one spot on the planet that you wish you could have a second home in.
Italy.
Italy, anywhere precise?
Not precise, just, I mean, I like the south of Italy. I would say somewhere in there.
Fantastic.
Positano, Salerno, something like that. somewhere
And
in there.
nothing to do with the liquid beverage that we
That we
enjoy too
love,
much of.
that
If for
we
sure.
like, what's Aperol spritzes. Yes. No,
Mm,
nothing really to do with those,
nothing
but
at all.
maybe a little bit of those. But also maybe just a little bit of the food because I'm a big foodie, so.
Well, that's why we train so hard. Moving on.
Right.
So okay, spot on earth. Now, death row meal to go back onto the food train.
Oh, back on the food train. So again, if I was living in Italy, this would be perfect because it would be literally any type of pasta. I don't have like a crazy preference because I love all of them. I want a bowl of pasta. I want a pizza. Again, nothing specific. Could be cheese, could be margarita, could be pepperoni. I don't care. Just give me pizza. I want Ben and Jerry's cookie dough ice cream.
She
And
went
then
happy, main, and dessert.
yeah, oh yeah, one more dessert too. We need a creme brulee in there. That's probably better in France, but it doesn't really matter. Yeah, all
Oh,
of that.
you're simply the best, and I can't thank you enough for
Um,
taking time out of your busy
thank
schedule.
thank you so much for having me. This was awesome. I hope
Okay.
I do really hope that, all this chat helps, just guides and helps people a
Yeah,
little more.
for sure. The up and coming, but also the ones in it and the ones that are supporting those that are thinking of being in it as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And humans first, buddy. And I love you
Humans
so much.
first.
Yeah.
We that's what we all are, and just embrace it.
Yeah.
Embrace it and love it and just be it,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know?
Okay. Sending you love, sending you nothing but good vibes and energy. And
You
I'll chat
too.
soon.
All right, Briggs, thank you so much.
Hey, take care. Bye bye.
Bye.